Let's think back for a moment to a year ago today. It was a bright spring day and the campus was in the midst of its traditional Patriots' Day revelry. Then the word spread across campus of the tragedy on Boylston Street in Boston, and within minutes, the music stopped and the festivity turned to concern and then to shock and dismay. You've often heard me say that Lasell is a warm, caring community where we celebrate each other's victories and come to each other's aid in times of need. As it turned out, both of these qualities were on display that fateful day. As we approach the 118th running of the Boston Marathon, it is appropriate that Lasell take a moment to reflect on how the community came together just a year ago today, and then again days later when the manhunt came to a climax just a short distance from our campus. We remember and honor the 3 who died that day, the hundreds who were injured, the thousands of family members who were affected, and the first responders who braved chaos and blood to do what needed to be done. This year, members of the college community will once again take up the challenge of the 26-mile race. We've been knocked down before and have always managed to get back up. We have persevered and will do so again in the years to come, because we are a community that pulls together when we are challenged. We are Boston strong, we are Lasell strong.
Okay. My name's Hatem. I'm an associate professor of mathematics here at Lasell College, and I'm also the chair of the math and science department. I ran last year. I've run the marathon a couple of times. I'm not an elite runner by any stretch of the imagination, but I like the challenge of running. And last year, I was training for another event, and I thought the marathon would be a good idea to get me ready for this event. So I decided to run it, and I was one of those runners that got stopped about a half a mile before the ending, not knowing what happened when I was stopped. This year, obviously, after what happened last year, for several reasons. I mean, one, I think everyone in Boston and everyone that ran Boston doesn't want to let the bad guys win. And I think one way to do that is to, face your fears, do it again, and be resilient and show that, nothing's going to stop you from achieving what you want. And one of the most fun parts for me is running by Lasell in my training. And I just picture all the students going crazy. And it helps whenever I'm running down past Woodland on my training, I just picture all the fun the kids are having and yelling, and that helps me get through that stretch. After deciding that I really wanted to run again, I also wanted to raise money to get it. That's one of the only ways you can get a number, unless you're an elite runner and you qualify, or an elite runner or you qualify. And qualifying at my age is a pace that I just can't run. So I sent a lot of emails out, and I ended up finding the Newton Boys and Girls Club, which was perfect for me because I live in Newton, I grew up in Newton, and I used to see all the good work that they did. And they interviewed me, and within an hour they called me back and accepted me as a runner, which might sound silly, but it was hard to get an acceptance from a lot of these organizations because so many people wanted to run. So I felt like, a high school kid getting into college. I was happy. I promised them I would raise, at least $8,000, which was their minimum. And I think I ended up, now I'm at $10,600, which was great. Sent an email out to everyone I knew and just said, can you please help? This is a good cause. And the Boys and Girls Club is their mission is to educate students and give them a chance to be decent citizens. And it's a lot of the same, I think philosophies that teachers have, is you're just trying to get your kids ready for the real world. So it was a perfect match. And I'm happy to represent them, and that's why I chose them, and I think it was a win-win. They were able to get somebody that was really dedicated to raising money for them, and I get the satisfaction knowing I raised money for them, and I also get a number. So it worked out really well. Lasell's been great. I think, that was, when I interviewed, I said, I've got a few people I can email. I've got my, my college buddies, my high school buddies, my friends and family, and then my friends and family at Lasell. And that held up pretty nicely. I sent an email out, and I think, I don't know dollar amount, but the point is they financially supported me really well. Everyone chipped in a little bit, and it worked out. Emotionally, awesome. A lot of students and colleagues know that I'm running, and they're just wishing me good luck, and it's been really nice just knowing that not only is Lasell on the route, but you have a bunch of people rooting for you. So in that regards, I'm really looking forward to running past Woodland Road, as long as I make it in a decent time where kids are still out there. So we'll see. Okay, so I think the Boston Marathon is special to Boston for several reasons. And again, I'm not a historian on marathons, but I do know, just from running the ones that I've run, and running into people that are around the country and around the world, people view the Boston Marathon as one of the most challenging marathons. And it's on Patriots Day, which again is one of those holidays that we only celebrate here in New England, but it's just a special holiday. And for some reason, Boston just seems to be the marathon. And that's not just because I'm biased, I just really believe that. So to sort of put, any type of negative sign associated with this, people aren't going to have it. And so I'm really proud to be from Boston, and I'm proud that people from here responded the way they did. And that's why I think this marathon will be the best marathon that we've ever had.